It's a race to 10 wins on the season as the Edmonton Oilers look to get their road trip back on the rails after whatever the hell happened Monday in Buffalo. It's game 5 of a 7-game Eastern Road swing. I made the joke to Brett, so I guess I'll make it now. I said, while we await the Epstein files, might as well watch some hockey here for the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Washington Capitals in D.C., the District of Columbia. But hello, what up, and welcome to an early edition of Pregaming with Bordzy, which of course is presented by Bet365. Download the app today because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, please play responsibly. Might even use the promo code NATION while you're over there. But what up, everybody? I am joined this evening by OG, original gangster of Oilers Nation, king of hockeyfights.com, just an absolute beautician as well. It is Dan Gallant Nation. Daniel, how we doing, my pal? Give me a very early 4:01 p.m. vibe check.
I'm an Oilers fan. We've just come off of a heavy loss against the Buffalo Sabres, so I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. I'm glad to be here with you. I'm glad to be surrounded by the chat. We've got Brett producing the show, of course. It's a group to be around for this kind of a game when we've got 2 games back-to-back here that are up against opponents that I would say are pretty darn good.
Gang's all here. I like how you said it. Me, Dan, producer Brett, he's going to join us as well in a little bit. We're going to do our quarter mark of the season awards for the Edmonton Oilers, and such awards include the MVP, even the LVP for the least valuable player for the Edmonton Oilers this year. So I want the chat to play along when we get going with that. Producer Brett, he's always joining the show. He's just my right-hand man. He's basically my co-host. I mean, you are tonight, but he's always here. And he also is helping run hockeyfights.com. Let's get caught up in the chat. He's got that soundboard, Dan. He's got it down dialed. No. I'm sure he's going to work in the video at some point. But Austin, first comment today, he's in and says, all right, Bordzy, fire up this beautiful fucking band, baby, and let's get this train back on the rails. Amen. The rest of you beauties, vibe check, chill your bevies, bring the energy, and let's get to work. Savoy's in. He says it's been pretty, but still optimistic on the team, or it hasn't been pretty, still optimistic on the team. We like that, Savoy the Paw. Like seeing a handless card dealer. I still got to watch to see how this goes. Let's go, Edmonton Oilers. A couple names in here. Lance Kane, of course, with a simple cup yeah, Dan.
Cup yeah.
Fighting Amish put in, I like turtles. I like turtles. That's why I can get down with that. BBJ, need a W in regulation tonight. I got some numbers on that a little bit later on. Insane when you think of the lack of regulation wins the Oilers have had in their last bunch of games here, basically the entire season. And then Mackay and Dry says, you're happy to be around the chat. Let's go. I'm happy, Daniel, to be back at home. This is only the second at-home show Brett and I have been able to do all season. And after doing every single playoff game down at Greta Bar-Yeg, which I'm not complaining, that's awesome. We've either been at Dog Patch, Greta, in studio, but tonight, for a 4 p.m. start, I was able to get home just in time. I'll tell you right now, I'm wearing my comfy shorts. There's no Dog Patch menu tonight for me, but I'm getting oodle noodle, brother, without a doubt. I know Brett's going to be behind the camera pissed that I'm getting oodle noodle without my boy, but it feels good. It feels good to be back at home. I also decided to wear my good luck shirt. I pointed this out to Brett. I don't think I've worn this all season. This one, it's brought us out of some dark times before, much like the Oilers playing the Washington Capitals has brought them out of some dark times before as well. But Daniel, there's one thing I do want to touch on before we get going, and it has nothing to do with the Oilers. It has nothing to do with anything relevant. But Brett and I were hanging out this morning, chilling as we do, talking about ridiculous things as we do. We're scrolling through a great website known as hockeyfights.com. Should follow them on all their socials. And we came across a fight, I believe it's from 2019, where Brett, I want you to just start playing the video because, Daniel, you're the king of hockeyfights.com. You've seen a lot of fights in your day. This one is new for me. So this is an AHL fight from 2019. That's AJ Greer, who's going to end up getting his ass beat. And you see the one player already in the penalty box.
Yes.
And just lets himself out of the penalty box and then throws some absolute fists. You see, yeah, AJ Greer got his ass beaten that one. Daniel, my question to you is, Does that happen very often? I started thinking about it and I was like, oh yeah, you mean the 70-year-old man is not a security guard who's in there working the clock in these penalty boxes? This is nothing relevant, nothing timely. I had just never seen this. Does this happen?
Well, you know what? No, it doesn't. I do remember this now that you showed this clip. I actually we had another person that was doing the AHL at that time, but even this hit my radar just because this was such a massive. Like that guy, I'm pretty sure that guy got ejected because he left the penalty box, which is one row of penalties. But then, yeah, to step out of the penalty box and just get absolutely dusted by the dude that you allowed to get underneath your skin so much so that you could see him weighing the options there as he came out of the penalty box. And that Milwaukee Admirals team was something else. That was the Nashville Predators. That's the Nashville Predators farm team organization, of course. You see Matthew Olivier there just dispensing his opponent as well. He just now happens to be the heavyweight champion of the NHL currently. But yeah, that's a rarity. Always exciting, always fun for the fans. And that reminds me of another time that happened in 2021, I think it was. A locker. I'll bring up the clip for the post-game show. We'll have it on the post-game show. I'll send it to Brett. But there was a locker box attendant or a penalty box attendant. What am I calling it? A locker box? A penalty box attendant that was recording the footage. And it's one of the most watched videos in Hockey Fights' history. It's been seen, I think, over 11 million times. It was a guy that, he just recorded it. And the penalty box, or the guy in the penalty box, he could tell that they were like jawing back and forth at each other. And anyways, chaos ensued as they both came out of the penalty box at the same time. I will include the clip for the post-game show. That's called a teaser for those that aren't in the business. I'm pretty good at this thing, but yeah, that was a great clip to see from the AHL where I think that they miss some of they get to skip some of the player safety positions and options there when it comes to some of the excitement. You only get the most egregious of outrageous statements and moments from the AHL, like this one.
You got to fill those AHL seats as well. So you might just might have to advertise a little bit more bloodshed throughout. Iron Duke's in, says, oh yeah, I know the clip that he's talking about. Austin Hockey's in, who joined us on the nation vacation to Vancouver. It was an absolute beauty. He says, happy game day, boys. Let's get it tonight. Bad vibes from Monday. That was then. This is now. I didn't like it on Oilers Nation every day today. It was Jay, our fearless leader, not leading from the front, saying how, when are we going to admit that this is roster construction? I said, brother, I'll never admit that until we are mathematically eliminated from anything. It's always going to be oil. Waz is in. He says, I love that stash of yours, Bordzy. And if you want to see Waz's beard, can tune in tomorrow to pre and post game because we're going to be at Dog Patch. Me, Brett, and Waz. Mackay and Dry said, as progressive and philosophical as Dan is, true, I still can't believe he's a Hockey Fights guy. Daniel, you're a man of many talents. You're the Nuge, goddammit.
It's almost like some of us people that, kind of sit back in the fringe. We've got some thoughts, we've got some opinions, and that's, I think, true about a lot of fighters in the NHL and in the AHL themselves. There's a lot of characters there that I really hope that someday in my time here with Hockey Fights that I'm able to kind of show the door to a lot more people, that there are some cool folks out here that are just kind of hiding in the weeds, in the fringe of society and of hockey's norms.
You know what I don't want to open the door to, Daniel, but we're gonna. The door to the past, and the door that leads to Monday night, the Buffalo Sabres.
I thought we were just going to talk about nonsense for the entire episode.
I mean, I could. I could. We'll bring Brett. When Brett joins, I'm sure we will get off the rails instantly, but a little bit of hockey talk. I want to say that game against the Sabres, 3 letters, all capitals, ass. Put it on a graphic, slap it anywhere you need to look. 5-1 for the Sabres over the Oilers. Colton Ellis in his 4th career NHL start. It was a brutal, embarrassing effort. Brett, get off the screen. I didn't want to look at it. That's too many seconds for me to even possibly look at it. A lot of people talked about Colorado getting dummied 9-1. Was rock bottom for the Edmonton Oilers. We got a new contender that has joined us in losing 5-1 to the Sabres. It was just one of those games, dude. Everything was off while they still finished with 33 shots, we talked about it on postgame. I couldn't think of two memorable high danger chances for the Edmonton Oilers. Anything. Defending was totally brutal. Breakout passes, I'll say it again, ass. Any consistency for this team, they looked lifeless. Lethargic was the word that I used as well in that game. Monday night was bad. Daniel, there's been a lot of early season lows, and once again, it's only one game. It's the fourth game of a 7-game roadie. You're going to get some performances like that. However, felt like an idiot in my shoes because we're talking on Pregaming. This is point night. This should be it against the lowly Buffalo Sabres. And we all know it. There's no easy nights in the NHL. That was thoroughly proven on Monday night against the Sabres. But it stings nonetheless. Daniel, what was your takeaway from Monday getting dummied by the Buffalo Sabres?
I mean, shout out the Oilers and their talent for making a goalie starting his 4th NHL game look like he might end up in the Hall of Fame at some point alongside Leon and Connor. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that when you look at that, even that box score, as ugly as it was, it did lie even a little bit more about how close that game was for these Oilers. Save for, it seemed like a flurry just at the start of like 2 minutes or 3 minutes worth of ice time from the Oilers, where it felt like they were actually getting it and figuring it out offensively. That was really bad. It was really, really awful. On Oilers Nation Radio, I put the question: what was worse, the 9-1 loss or the 5-1 loss to the Sabres? And we were split down the middle as to what was worse. And my position just came down to the fact that was an entirely beatable Buffalo team. They were missing 5 players from their offense. So not only did we make their goaltender look great, we also made their offense flourish. And it wasn't Tage Thompson that was putting up 7 shots on the net and putting in 3 goals. It was the rookies. I can't even remember.
Noah Ostland.
Ostland. There you go.
I don't know who that
naturally. Just made up NPC players in the Buffalo Sabres system. And then on the icing on the cake was just, and I have to give them credit. You give their flowers where they take them and deserve them. You give the Buffalo Sabres announcers, Rob Ray and I don't know who the other guy's name is, a little bit of credit for having some fun with us, just because, God dang it, we've been there before. We've seen this movie. They've been dealing with the decade of darkness for 15 years. They can't even call it a decade because it's been horrendous. There was the joke on Hockey Memes Reddit there today, talking about how the Buffalo Sabres are battling it out or tanking versus another Albertan team for a top first overall pick. Is it 2025 or are we talking about 2015? It's just crazy that Buffalo Sabres franchise is as down as it is. And we were the team that were able to make them feel better for one night.
That got absolutely shellacked by the Buffalo Sabres. Quick timeout. Buff Sneld is in. Says, it was my birthday yesterday. All I want is for the Oilers to play like a damn hockey team and get some wins. Clap it up, Buff Sneld. Happy birthday. We love and appreciate you. You're one of the OGs in the chat. You're always here. Shout out Brett as well. And then we also got Liam controlling the Oilers Nation chat right now behind the scenes. So whole gang's here, baby. Everybody's here tonight and everybody's ready to hang. Actually, except for 2 Edmonton Oilers forwards who are going to be out this evening. So the Oilers, the road trip from hell continues to keep moving along. Shout out our boy, Tony Barr. Some lineup notes tonight. So Noah Philp and Curtis Lazar will miss the rest of this road trip. Both of them with upper body injuries. I joked that both of them got injured while both playing under 10 minutes a night in their last game against Buffalo. So that means on this road trip, as we know, tonight, Washington, Thursday, Tampa Bay, and then Saturday, Florida. The next 3 games, and Nobby, even in his pregame interview, said could even be possibly 4 games. The Oilers are going to be going 11-7. Expect the defense to rotate through. And then, as you see in the bottom, Stuart Skinner is going to get the start, which means Calvin Pickard, as Liam pointed out earlier today on ONE, tomorrow will be his last start for the Edmonton Oilers. Is on this road trip. They're simply just running out of bodies. Thoughts on the injuries here, Dan? Like, once again, Noah Philp and Curtis Lazar have been playing under 10 minutes a night. So I don't think the Oilers, if there's ever guys that were expendable and could get injured, I think some of the shine for Noah Philp has definitely worn off. Weirdly enough, I've kind of liked Curtis Lazar's game, or at least I haven't hated it, which I guess is liking it in the current state of the Edmonton Oilers right now. The injuries for most of the year, I'd say we're a quarter in. The Oilers have been, knock on wood, pretty healthy for the most part, but you see it now. Nuge is out. Kasperi Kapanen's out. Curtis Lazar is out. Noah Philp is out. And we know these Oilers are kind of up against it when it comes to the salary cap. Daniel, talk about it a lot. Depth scoring for the Edmonton Oilers is back in the news and in the headlines. And not that I think they were the options I would lean on the most. Never getting easier when you're going to lose 2 bottom sixers and you still have 3 more games to go on this Eastern road trip. How'd the injury news strike you today?
Well, I mean, this team top to bottom has just been horrendous. I would say in spurts, even arguably Leon and Connor haven't been stirring the drinks on some nights. Now that's not every single night. But yeah, I think that you're right to say that it's not as massive of a loss as it would be if we lost one of those top 6 guys. But this team has to look inward at every position and at every level, offense, defense, and goaltending, and figure it out. And when you've got less guys to look around to be able to support you, and this kind of tells me that we're going to be seeing more and more of Connor and Leon and Hyman together. It's just going to be more difficult for that bottom 9 to be able to, or bottom 8, I guess it is, to be able to find some rhythm and find some, some good sequences and some good offensive pressure sustained there. So it's a challenge for this team, but they've got to overcome. And every single team, again, talking about what we did on Oilersnation Radio yesterday, but we went around the league, and when you look at every single team in this league, they're overcoming their own injury issues. The Florida Panthers are without half of their top forwards. Like, it's just, you can't look at any single team and say that they're more or less injured than this Oilers team has been. And if anything, we've been frankly kind of lucky with our injuries because of the Hyman injury, but then you're able to swap in and out Regula, and you're able to swap in and out different injured players, so that we haven't had to make the roster moves that we've now had to make in the form of sending down an Ike Howard. But yeah, the answer has to come from within the room, and these guys have to figure it out at every level of hockey, at every level of play here. So you're down and you're not as healthy on the forward group. Maybe the defense is the one to pull us out of this nonsense.
Or as Sergeant Battle does jokingly, brings up my most hated comment I ever hear: just play Bouchard on the wing. He doesn't mean that. He's joking when he does. That's why I love you, Sergeant Battle. But Jesus Christ, I'm sure we're going to hear that on this trip. Mackay and Dry, we can do it 11-7, but we always have Howard, even to bring up the Oilers. Once again, I'm not a cap picture kind of guy. I'm not a salary cap kind of guy. That's a Tyler and Liam. Maybe Liam can help you out in the chat, but the Oilers, they are up against it right now. So that means the Oilers expected to go 11-7 this evening. Bert, let's pull it up. The lines, what we saw at morning skate earlier today. So there's a couple changes. Also, don't read in too much of the deep pairings. Your top line, Matt Savoy with Connor McDavid and Jack Roslovic, who might be up for the MVP award for the Oilers at the quarter season mark. Your second line, this one's getting swapped too, obviously, with Roslovic going to the top. It's Vasily Podkolzin with Leon Draisaitl and Andrew Mangiapane. Then your third line, Trent Frederick, Adam Henrique, and Zachary Martin Hyman, where, I mean, you could use the word demoted to the third line. This is an attempt to get Freddie and Rico going offensively. And then obviously your fourth line pairing of Matthias Janmark and Tommy Smokes. Nice to see him return to the lineup. Or is it? I don't even know. Your deep pairings, Nurse with Bouchard, Ekholm with Kulak, Wallman with Regula, who, I guess this is need to know early, they call him Reggie. They call him Reggie in the room. That's what Wallman said very casually today in his interview. And I went, haven't been very in on Regula this season, but Reggie might get me all the way back in.
Hockey player names impeccable every single time.
Emerson is going to be your seventh defenseman. So the Oilers D-core is obviously aligned up a little bit differently. Nobby mentioned, hey, don't read into it too much. And then you look at Jack Roslovic, may be the best Oiler on the team this season. So him getting bumped up to the first line, I guess makes sense, but that second line of Pods, Dry, and Roslovic has been eaten. They've been doing whatever they want out on the ice. They have been electric. So the decision to change that one up, I don't know how big of a fan of it I am. And then the third line there, Zachary Martin Hyman. That is entirely to light a spark under Trent Frederick, and not even so much Adam Henrique. We were kind of talking about it a pre-show of, we'll get into it, the award that I think Adam Henrique could win. Chris Knobloch did speak to the media, Brett. I believe we have the clip, him talking about the lineup and some of his thought process heading into the decision to go 11-7, as well as Hyman moving down. Let's listen to Chris Knobloch, the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, the D pairs for morning skate are going to be a lot different than in the game, just because we've got 7 defensemen, so there's going to be a lot of rotation there. We'll expect Kulak to play some left and right side, probably Wallman too. But now that we're in a situation where we have to go 11-7, probably for the next 3 or maybe 4 games, that's what we're doing.
So you're capped up.
Well, now that we're down to 11 forwards, felt that we'd spread out the scoring with, with our 3 lines, Hyman playing with Henrique. Obviously, they haven't played together this year, but there was some chemistry last year between those two. So hopefully they can rekindle that and give us 3 strong lines.
I'm curious, Daniel, your thoughts on the Zach Hyman to the third line move. Let's start with that one, because you heard him talk about it right there. Rekindle some chemistry that Rico and Hyman found last season. I've argued that Trent Frederick on the 7-game roadie needs to staple his ass next to Zach Hyman on the bus. He needs to be rooming with him. He needs to be looking at what he's eating and just try and bring some of Zach Hyman's, I always call it the lunch pail and hard hat, what he brings to the NHL. Daniel, thoughts on Zachary's demotion, I guess, whatever you want to call it, to the third line?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I find it hard to listen to Nobby with too much of without just like a grain of salt taken with everything he says when it comes to the lineup at this point. I kind of feel like if we're talking about wanting to spur on some offense from that bottom 6, maybe a promotion of a Henrique up to a line with McDavid and Hyman might have made more sense in that sense, but yeah, I guess it's just a shift of the offense and a hopeful shift of mentality from this team. But I really just pencil that in, folks. It will be erased by the end of the first 10 minutes of the game, and we'll have new lineups and I guess it's one of those things for me it's fresh for me to say, I'm upset with a coach for making a change. He admittedly does swing his damn bat every single game, multiple times during the game to try, as opposed to just kind of sitting back and letting his lines suffer and fail. But I seem to remember that the last time we went 11-7 I was on this show, and it was an absolute shit show from this team. Now I'm talking about last year. I'm not talking about this year. But last season it was a shit show. And hearing him talk about switching up the defense there, and I know I'm jumping topics on you here, but switching up the D and making them go left and right that just terrifies me. I really don't think that we have we don't have a plan. We're gonna have to hope to figure this one out on the fly, and hopefully the defense can kind of just play defense and stop worrying about trying to make too much happen offensively, and the forwards can support therein.
Get the puck to the forwards. But Daniel, I couldn't agree more. I think these next 3 games, they're going to be a little wild here for the Edmonton Oilers. It was already any means necessary on a 7-game roadie against some of these awesome teams that they're playing against. Now you're down a couple bodies. You're down the Nuge. Nobody can complete a 6-foot pass breakout attempt. So I think you're about to get interesting out there. And once again, I always say it with Knobloch in his lineup, a depth chart is just a recommendation when it comes from Chris Knobloch, because as you know, it's getting blended up pretty quickly. So what are we looking for from the Edmonton Oilers tonight? We know all the things I just mentioned. They're down bodies. They're obviously just got shellacked by the Buffalo Sabres. We've seen flashes of the good Edmonton Oilers this season, not nearly enough. They love getting down a couple goals before we start to see that version of the Edmonton Oilers. Down a couple bodies. They're going 11-7. We have another clip here from Chris Knobloch. And Daniel, I got a joke for you after this one, because it's funny, where Chris Knobloch just needs, remember Key and Peele? I want people to watch this clip. Remember Key and Peele, and they did the Obama skits with the translator right behind him?
Translator.
The anger translator. Because
there you go. Yeah.
He's given such PC responses. We'll get into it in a second. Brett, what does Chris Knobloch want to see from the Edmonton Oilers tonight?
Ultimately, we need to, each line giving us a little more, setting up the next line. And, I think that ultimately starts with puck execution, making plays and not giving it away, but not also, there's been a lot of talk about giving away, but just the fact of just making a pass tape to tape so the next guy can make his next play. Yeah, a lot of things, puck movement, passing, but also digging in and playing better defensively. And, that's also a system thing. That's also individual winning your battle thing. So, giving up way too many chances in a lot of games. You go back to Colorado, and since then, maybe the Flyers game we defended well, but other than that, we got to get a better defensive game if we're going to have success.
So 2 things. I think what he meant to say was complete a fucking pass out of your own end, and he did it so nicely. He just kept passing, like passing, just like just complete a breakout pass for the love of God. And then the next one, he even used Connor's phrase, dig in. Take some pride in the defensive end. Take some pride in physicality here. Sound like a broken record. You can play every post-game show, and there's pretty much been one where I go, there's 4 to 5 Edmonton Oilers just standing around in front of their blue paint, kind of leaving their goaltender out to dry. We played 2 Nobby interview clips there because, Daniel, I'm kind of curious as well. There's even some, I guess you could tie it into the news we got earlier today about Paul Coffey, but Edmonton, there's always going to be people clamoring, coach should be fired, the structure sucks, his new staff is this and that. Tyler kind of emulated this on O&E, but dude, the Edmonton Oilers know what they need to do. I've been watching all these pregame interviews. They say the same thing every game, which is complete a pass out of your own end, take some pride defensively, hit a body. They'll know what they need to do. And it's again, I'm not in an NHL locker room. I haven't been around NHL coaches, but these Edmonton Oilers, sure, they lost Corey Perry. Sure, they lost Connor Brown. They've been to back-to-back cup finals. All right. Connor McDavid's played 10 years in the show at this point. Darnell, Rico, there's no excuse. And you can't say that like Nobby's not coached them hard enough. There is one thing tonight that I do think would be added. 7 defensemen. So if you're chucking up grenades up the ice here on some breakout attempts, I think Nobby could sit someone down on the bench for some serious minutes. Daniel, we all know what the Edmonton Oilers need to do. Complete the pass, be physical. Will they do that tonight? Where's your confidence level? Because once again, I've seen that same pregame interview 100 times.
Well, that's exactly for sure. And I do give credit. I mean, obviously I'm not going to take anything away from our former coworker, Frank Saravalli, and his report about the coffee thing. It does lend a certain amount of credence to the idea that Paul Coffey's style leaving this team has, I think, left the defense in a position where, yes, I know and I agree that they do know what to do. And I think that it's almost as if wires have been crossed with this team. It's like the defense is doing what the forwards need to be doing, driving the offense and taking the shots and taking the chances, that then the forwards are left to try and they fail and flail at trying to support the defense, who have abandoned the ship most of the time at the points and left us to have 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s all over the place. So yeah, there is something to that for me as a fan, and just, seeing that the team has been floundering a little bit to start the year, but that's where you can kind of just park that excuse. We're now at the quarter season mark. It's time to figure it out. As a group, we know what we've been doing isn't working on the whole. We are not down and out by any means. We haven't lost even the chance to win the Pacific Division at this point, but you got to start figuring it out. And that's where I think that Knobloch's, mentality of just doing the right things, start checking those boxes, start dotting your I's, start crossing your T's, get the proper things done, and then hopefully this team will start seeing the wins come as a result of it.
Hopefully. Keep on praying. Let's just get through this road trip. Let's just come back to Edmonton. Let's basically take next week off. Also 4:30, everybody set your fantasy lineups. My alarm is going off right now. That's why we pregame together. That's why we do this. Bert, I want to quickly give a shout out because we got a new nation vacation that we just posted online that is officially available to the public, because people, we're going to Vegas March 24th to March 27th, 2026. We are going back. It's going to be a good one. March, I believe the Oilers take on the Vegas Golden Knights twice in the month of March. Those are the dates for us. The flight package, you know the deal. You got flight package. You got just hotel package. I think you can even just do, no, I don't even know if just a game package is available. So you might just get your own flights. Everybody loves using points. But you know what it is, people. We're going to be on Fremont Street. Going to be doing live shows by the pool. They have the massive gambling screens everywhere. The casino was, me and Brett stayed up till 5 a.m. pretty much every single night. Still did Oilers Nation every day in the morning because we dig deep. But it's going to be an awesome one. We just did the Nation Vacation to Vancouver. That was dope. It's always a great time. We love seeing faces. Nation Vacation to Vegas. Daniel, you know, you used to be in charge of these. Like, the hockey game's just a super added bonus, in my opinion, because you're just going to Vegas, casinos responsibly calling your name, vacation darts in my case, also calling my name. Daniel, been a minute since I've seen you on a Nation Vacation. Will you come to Vegas with me?
I won't be coming to Vegas, unfortunately, but I will vouch for Vegas. There is just something that I agree with you. It's they are a franchise. The Vegas Golden Knights are a franchise that gets it and understands that whether you see your team win or lose, you should enjoy your game and enjoy your booze, and they make sure of that. But also, you are going to be like the existence of this Nation Vacation and the iterations and the way that it's kind of morphed and transformed from what it used to be when I was running it, where we would stay at places like Excalibur and New York. Now you are staying on Fremont Street in a gorgeous location, the area where Vegas has really taken time and effort to really just kind of rejuvenate the area. And also it's the low-key place to be able to afford a great time in Vegas, where it's become a bit of a tourist trap, and you got to be careful. You got to look out for yourself, and you got to look out for your fellow Nation vacationers. But you can definitely find a great time down on Fremont Street.
I'll tell you right now, we know how to do Vegas. This is, I think this will be my third Nation Vacation in Vegas. I think my fourth time going. I love this city. I love everything about Sin City, and I can't wait to go back. Also, Walls, I believe, just got a 5-minute timeout in the chat because he's saying ridiculous things. Lance said, I am ready to throw dice with Walls. Absolutely. And then Sergeant Battle, he said Vegas is a great time. Fun fact, that's where I met Sergeant Battle for the very first time, getting ready for a Nation Vacation. Let's go now. Need to know information. Then we're going to do our quarter season awards, but need to know information brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because only the finest tasting meat products earn that Wilhauk name and that sick horns up Wilhauk logo. For more info, head on over to WilhaukBeefJerky.com to get yo jerky on. We took a look at it. The Oilers expected to go 11-7 tonight, and for the next 3 games in total. Nobby even casually said 3 to 4 games. So it could even be Tuesday against the Dallas Stars. We also, Brad, I think I have a tweet in here. It was Jason Greger's update on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. So he's not expected. He's obviously not on the road trip with the Oilers, but he is expected to practice with the team when they return on Monday. So Tuesday, the Oilers play the Dallas Stars. But get this, they don't play Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And then Saturday, they are in Seattle. If it's me, play it smart, play it safe. He is not playing until November 29th, hopefully, against the Seattle Kraken. Don't rush him back. It's been serious enough that they've kept him out for this entire road trip. There you see it on your schedule. I know me and Brett, we've been waiting for that. What is that? November 20. I can see Brett celebrating in the background. November 26th, 3 days in a row without an Oilers game. I mean, I still got to do O&E, but I get my evenings back at least for 3 of them. So that's going to be much needed. I made this joke with my girlfriend recently, and I was like, man, I'm exhausted from this 7-game road trip. Imagine playing in these hockey games and traveling. I'm just tired because it's at 4 p.m. that we have to pregame. That's why I don't play in the NHL. Other weird news of note, the Oilers and the Capitals had this really, really weird season sweep thing going on recently. So they have split the last 4 seasons that they've played each other head-to-head, which is usually 2 games a season. They have split them. Bang, 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 bang. So it was a season sweep for the Oilers in 2022. The Washington Capitals in 23 then swept the Edmonton Oilers. The next year, the Oilers beat the shit out of the Capitals 5-0 and 7-2. One of those is the game that turned around everything for the Edmonton Oilers. And then last year, the Capitals beat the Oilers by a combined score of 10-5 and won both games. If history is anything, Daniel, it is doomed to repeat itself. So the Edmonton Oilers might be sweeping this series. Who knows? Knock on wood. Stuart Skinner, he's going to get the start. 7-5-2 record, 2.86 goals against with an 889 save percentage. Sucks that you have to look at Calvin Pickard's numbers to look at Stuart Skinner's. But in his career against the Capitals, Stu is 2-3-0, 2-6-4 with a 910 save percentage. And then for the Washington Capitals, they are 9-8-2 on the year. But get this, 3-5-2 in their last 10 games. They won. They beat LA on Monday night 2-1. Charlie Lindgren was in the net for that hockey game. Here you see the head-to-head tail of the tape between the two teams. So the Capitals have struggled on the special teams all season long. Their power play, 14%, good enough for 26th in the NHL. Their PK, 72.6, also 26th in the entire NHL. But this team, 5v5, like you look at those numbers, goals for, I believe it's 24th in the NHL, their goals for number there. They're a 5v5 analytical darling. The numbers will tell you it's just coming for the Washington Capitals soon. They are second in goals for percentage, third in expected goals for percentage, third in Corsi, which I still don't know what that means, fifth in Fenwick, definitely don't know what that means, and they're third in total expected goals for, 24th actual goals for. Expect, as I hate when people say, like, it's progression. They're going to progress to the mean. They're going to progress back up. Tom Wilson leads the team in points, 18 in 19 games. He has 9 for 18. And then Ovi, he's got 6 goals, 15 points in his 19 games. He's up to 903 goals in his career. This will be game 1511. And it also took Ovi a minute to get going. I believe he missed most of the training camp, but he has 8 points in his last 7 games with 3 goals in his last 4. Seen him score some goals against the Oilers before. We've also seen Stuart Skinner absolutely rob the shit out of him before. So hopefully that happens tonight. And then finally, Logan Thompson, he's getting the start for the Capitals. He's an absolute dog. 7-5-1 record, 1.85 goals against with a 925 save percentage. If that man's not on Team Canada, that is nuts. Let's go now. I want to, maybe Bert, we'll do it one more time. We'll just quickly show the lineup, what we expect for the Edmonton Oilers. Then let's bring producer Brett on. We're going to bang out our quarter season award winners. So the expected lineup tonight, Savoy, McDavid, Jack Roslovic. Your second line, Pods, Leon, Mangiapane. Your third, Frederick, Rico, and Zachary Martin-Hyman. Then your fourth line, fourth duo, Janmark and Tommy Smokes. Your deep pairings, Nurse with Bush, Ekholm, Kulak, Wallman, Regula with Ty Emberson. Expect Wallman to be both sides, Brett Kulak to be both sides. And if one of them can't make a pass out of that seven-man unit, I want to see someone get sat down on the bench. But now, let's do it. Chat, play along. I got a couple quarter season awards that we want to talk it out. It hasn't been the greatest start to the season for the Edmonton Oilers. Producer Brett, hop on as well. And we're from home, both of us wearing our comfy shorts, I'm sure. Yeah, there he is. My boy's got his headband. He's ready to go. So the awards we're gonna give out, boys. MVP, offensive player, defensive player, most improved, least valuable player. And I think we might all be in agreement in the LVP. Our first one is the most valuable player. Bert, why don't you kick it off? What do you got for me?
I might be stealing somebody's here, and I will very gladly do it. I'm going with Jack Roslovic, which is nuts to say for a guy that was brought in game 2 while we're all standing there at Greta. Hold on. Did the Oilers just signed Jack Roslovic? Had kind of a rough start, not rough start, but I mean, the guy didn't have a preseason. He's just getting his feet wet with a brand new team, brand new system, and a team that's been struggling. Well, the only guy who hasn't been struggling on that team has been Jack Roslovic. It's been very impressive to see a guy that's been very steady for them offensively, and it's been really refreshing for them in that top 6. So my MVP, Jack Roslovic.
I am without a doubt Jack Roslovic as my MVP. He has been a breath of fresh air. You take into account that he's making $1.5 million. It's pretty valuable. He's been the most consistent source of offense. We'll get into our offensive player. Daniel, who's your MVP?
Well, see, I went differently with this one than you guys. I went back to, and it turns out that this team might just be a 2-player team. I still think it's Connor McDavid. I really just, when you look up and down that bench, and yes, I give Jack Roslovic a hell of a lot of credit for being the one guy that seems to respond to the adversity. But when you look up and down that bench, the one guy that's actually getting the flag and putting it up for the rest of this team to keep trying, it's every game, it's Connor McDavid. So it's still going to be Connor McDavid as my MVP for now. Roslovic, he's there, but yeah.
That just is my combination. I have Connor for the offensive player. Obviously, he's second in the NHL in points right now. Connor's Connor, but Jack Roslovic's insertion into this lineup has been so needed for the squad. Bert, who's your offensive? And let's go a little bit. We got to, we get some speed with this, but I assume it's one of two.
It's Jack Roslovic, actually. Yeah, I'm sticking with the guns there. Again, been the most steady, been the most consistent offensive player for the Oilers, especially as of late this month. So Jack Roslovic.
Yeah, I'm also going Jack Roslovic because of just the shots, the shooting. Essentially, it's the fact that they're going in is great, but he's the one guy that just seems to fire the puck from everywhere.
This one's interesting because who knows who's been the Oilers' best defensive player this season? Because I wrote down in my notes, sorry for cursing, absolutely fucking nobody. I didn't have a single person jump out to me for this type of award. I looked through the decor. Everybody's had their struggles. I look offensively, like the forward group. Everyone's had their struggles as well. Maybe Adam Henrique, but he might be an award winner for something else. Who did you guys have for defensive player?
I went kind of statistical with this one. So I actually wrestled with a couple of them. I almost went with Nuge because, again, just best back checker on the team. When Nuge back check happens, there's an Oilers goal coming next. So I almost went with him. Almost went actually with Troy Stecher as well. Had very impressive numbers. But I'm going with somebody that I still don't think that should be really getting this award. I'm going with Ty Emberson. Again, he has the least amount of high danger chances against for the Edmonton Oilers for anybody who's played at least 10 games so far this year, which is saying something on that decor, I should say. Same with expected goals against per 60 as well. So, I mean, statistically speaking, it's Ty Emberson. Actually, statistically speaking, it was Troy Stecher, but now it's Ty Emberson.
R.I.P. Stetch. Daniel, who for you?
It was a tough choice for me. I thought about Emberson, but I went with Wallman. I just think that he's his insertion into this lineup continues to be, a bit of a steadying force for this team. I think that I've expected that out of other guys that I'll be talking about later, and just haven't seen it. He's at least been steady enough that I was going to give him my nod, but I like the Emerson pick as well.
All right, the next awards, we'll double them up. Most improved and least improved. This I'll say is from last season heading on over. For me, my most improved, I think everybody should have the same answer. It's Matthew Savoy. He has taken the step from the AHL up to a bottom six role. He's a rookie who's owning PK1 for the Edmonton Oilers, who have great penalty kill numbers, shockingly enough, this season. He is without a doubt my most improved. This development for him is, knock on wood, kind of going exactly to plan, you would say. We are a quarter of the season in, and he's on the top line with Connor McDavid. And then my least improved player gives me no pleasure in saying this, but it's Darnell Nurse, because the drop-off for me, I could go Brett Kulak, but the point I wanted to make about Darnell Nurse is that he's obviously the whipping boy all the time. But the last couple of years, we've been doing pre- and post games. Last two regular seasons, haven't missed a second of Oilers hockey. Darnell in the regular season has been more bad or more good than bad. He has been. He just falls off in spurts. He has not gotten off on the right foot this year. Honorable mention, Brett Kulak, but I was chirping him on the last post-game show. I didn't want to do it again. Bert, most improved, least improved.
My most improved, so Matt Savoy was my co-winner. I actually have co-winners for both of these. So Savoy was my co-winner on the most
There's no co-winners. There's only one winner.
Says who? There were no rules. We literally made this at 10:30 this morning. Shut up. I can do what I want. So Matt Savoy, yes, is my co-winner for MIP. Also Adam Henrique, like a guy who had a lot of expectations as a veteran last season and just didn't really set up or play to those standards. And so far this year, he has. He was that guy that Matt Savoy and Ike Howard played with early in the season to get their feet wet with an NHL veteran, a guy who has played over 1,000 games now in the league. And he was producing early in this season as well. As of late, not as much, but really who has. So I'm not too worried. He's been very strong in his own end. He's been playing like a leader. He's been basically playing like a bottom six Nuge for the Edmonton Oilers. So I have Adam Henrique for the MIP there. And least improved, again, co-winners here. Brett Kulak, just don't think that he has been very good. He's as a guy who has consistently been the most steady defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers in his Edmonton Oilers tenure, he has not been that so far this year, which is very disappointing and kind of concerning as well. I heard, I think it was Tyler who said it today, almost playing his way off of this team and has kind of become expendable because of the lack of resources the Oilers do have. So that's not great for a local guy who has been so steady and has an Ironman streak. My other one, this one's obvious, the Calvin Pickard. I might be taking it away from Dan here, but I just think he deserved a shout there. Calvin Pickard, what can I say about that?
Daniel?
You picked 4 winners. It's gonna.
I was going to say, I told you real quick, and you gave me 4 winners.
My most improved pick will be Jack Roslovic. I think that he started off, and I was really not impressed with him at all. And he's been real damn good since then. And then least improved, I was gonna say Pickard, but that got taken from me. I'm gonna say Tomasek. Not really a fair pick so much as just like from what we hoped for and what we were sold, the bag of goods that we were sold in the offseason to what we've seen so far hasn't been great. So it's Tomasek for me.
Matthew Wozniak on his other account is in, and he says least improved Chris Knobloch. Brett, time out the shit out of that one too. All right, I don't want to hear that 10 minutes before puck drop. We don't need to be doing that. Lance Kane also said this fan base is least improved. Yeah, Woz specifically as well, but he will be on the show tomorrow. And then finally, the least valuable player at the quarter mark of the season for the Edmonton Oilers. It's Trent Frederick, and I don't see it could be anybody else. He's done a lot of nothing so far this season. His most memorable moment is getting the shit kicked out of him. That should pretty much say all you need to say right there. He's got 1 goal in the season. We were told in the offseason he was going to play on the top line. I don't know if anybody truly believed that, but we wanted to believe it. He's my LVP. Bert, what about you?
Yeah, I have Trent as well, but also this is where I'll put Calvin Pickard too, like a guy who had those 7 wins in the playoffs, a guy who again passed every test that was handed right to him last year, and you needed a guy who was going to pass those tests again this year, and so far he's been worse than Skinner, that which absolutely magnifies and amplifies the issue in the crease. Not something that you need from your backup goalie. It's Calvin Pickard.
Daniel?
I won't stand for this Trent Frederick slander. Just because he lost that fight doesn't mean that the man doesn't have a role to play in this city. And I think that he realized it. I think he will come into it. My least valuable player is Matthias Ekholm, a guy that 2 years ago I thought was going to fix this franchise when it came to defense. He has been anything but. He has not been helping his buddy out in Evan Bouchard, a guy that I think everybody on this team knows just needs to get his shit figured out. And Ekholm was supposed to be that calming force to go alongside him. It just hasn't been good enough from him. He's a veteran leader on this team, and I loved your comments about Adam Henrique there and your other co-winner that you chose there, Brett. But for me, Matthias Ekholm has been just not great, and I demand and expect more out of him.
Fair enough, brother. Brett, we still love you, even though You want to hog all the awards. You want to get all the play. I'm kidding.
And I'll take. I
you.
agree with. I just want to go back at you, Iron Duke, too, because Trent Frederick. Yes, he has 1 point in 21 games. It wouldn't be a conversation if the rest of this team could have figured it out offensively. I don't think we signed Trent Frederick to come in and fix the team from a goal scoring standard. Which, I mean, if you did, that's your bad. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think he's the least valuable player on this team. I think you have to look a little bit deeper than that. And it's a guy that, again, he's gone out and done something that nobody else on this damn team was willing to do. And now you've seen Vasily Podkolzin have a fight himself in as many nights. So I'm not as big of a Trent Frederick hater as some people. And again, that might be because I run hockeyfights.com.
There we go. Bert, we'll talk to you later on postgame. The boys together. Also, want to give a shout out to Oodle Noodle. Once again, download their app today. Come on, sign up, earn loyalty rewards points. The $2 deal. Spring rolls, green onion cakes, deep fried wontons. They got it all. Let's quickly go now. The starting goaltender report, which is brought to you by Dog Patch. We're going to be there tomorrow night. Me, Brett, and who's banned from the chat? Matthew Wozniak. 2-time banned from the chat. Matthew Wozniak, actually. And that's going to be a good one. We also have our Nation Night Out on Saturday. That's going to be fun, but it's sold out. But don't worry. We got another one coming up in December. Keep it locked on nationgear.ca. Bert, quickly pull it up. Tail the tape between the two goaltenders, Skinner, Thompson. In my opinion, if Logan Thompson isn't the starting goaltender for Team Canada, what the hell are we even doing here? What hockey brass? I don't even know what that totally means, but this guy needs to be on Team Canada. He's got a 1.85 with a 9.25. After last year, he had a 9.10. I believe the lowest he's ever had in his career is a 9.08. He's a dog. He finds a way to win. He stops pucks. Daniel, the Oilers, going to be in tough tonight trying to beat Logan Thompson.
Yeah, it's not going to get any easier for them from 4 games as a rookie, from being a rookie to Logan Thompson. It doesn't get any easier than that. This team, it's just going to have to drive the offense towards that net and stop trying to just pepper the shots from the perimeter the whole time and then look at the shot clock and say, oh, well, we tried 33 times. You got to be driving the net. You got to be getting traffic in front. They've just got to, the chat's already talked about it and mentioned it. You just got to check some boxes tonight in front of Logan Thompson. Don't necessarily have to win the game, but if we see some positive arrows that trend upwards, that would be exciting for Oiler fans.
Go up high, according to the scouting report from our pal Liam Horban. Right ear, as you see it, nice, Brett, nice and quick. Love that.
There
right ear or high blocker, high glove. But yeah, he's pretty good. Nothing below 80% besides that right ear. So he's going to be tough to beat. And then also, this is Stuart Skinner's 9th start in his last 11 games. I make the joke to Brett earlier today. Remember when we were talking about pairing Stuart Skinner with another goaltender that could shoulder 50% of the load? No. How about playing him with a goaltender who's absolutely unplayable? So Stuart Skinner has to shoulder 100% of the load. Not entirely true, tongue-in-cheek. Pickard going to play tomorrow against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Good luck, brother. But that's tomorrow's problem. Today's problem is the Washington Capitals, who, let's check out their lineup quickly. Let's plug the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament. There's plenty of room for teams to sign up at nationgear.ca, January 23rd to the 25th. Me and Brett have also put out our own names. We would love to join a team. We would love to take down Oilers Nation because, Dan, as you know, we're not invited to this one. We don't get to go to this one. So how funny would it be if the boys showed up hacking bones, as Lisa Simpson would say? Shout out Dan. He gets my Simpson references. Nationgear.ca. It's 4-on-4 ODR hockey. You can have teams 4 up to 8. I recommend having more than 4 because you're going to be gassed and sore. We are adults now, but it's going to be a good time. Bert, throw it up now. The projected lineup tonight for these Washington Capitals. Your top line, Alexander Ovechkin with Dylan Strome and Connor McMichael. Your second line, Alexei Protas with Justin Sordiff, something like that. And Tom Wilson, another guy who could be on Team Canada. Your third line, Anthony Beauvillier with Nick Dowd and Ryan Leonard. Your fourth, Brandon Duhaime with Hendrix Lapierre and Ethan Frank. Your deep pairings, Martin Farabee with John Carlson, Jacob Chikrin with Matt Roy, Rasmus Sandin with Trevor Riemsdyk. Daniel, give me your player to watch tonight. For me, I'm going Tom Wilson, like I just mentioned. I think this dude should 100% be on Team Canada. When you think of him, you think of the hard-hitting, head-hunting. I don't want to use the word scumbag, but I can't really think of a different word. But he is so much more than that. Guy has 9 goals, 9 apples on the season. He can play with skill. He's threatening to be against on the ice. There's not a lot of messing around when Tom Wilson's on the ice because you know what might happen. He's big, he's physical, and he can score goals. Tom Wilson is my player to watch. Daniel, what about you?
It's really not nice of you to take my favorite player of the Washington Capitals variety off the board. But I will look at Alex Ovechkin. The dude is just going to be fed the puck tonight. He loves to show up in big games against big name players, and he loves to put his dot on anything when it comes to the top teams in this league. So I expect to see Alex Ovechkin over 5 shots. No problem.
And as I mentioned, he has 3 goals in his last 4 games, 8 points in his last 7. Always back. There was obviously like an emotional last year. They were unbelievable. I forget what they finished. I had this written down somewhere. 51 wins they had last season.
Yeah, well,
that start. Both teams are looking for win number 10 on the year. Who can get there first?
And that's exactly it. And I mean, if Team Canada leaves Tom Wilson off of their roster, we riot. That would be insane. You can't, like, there was a conversation last year about it just because, you know, he's offensive, but he's got more of that rough and tumble to him. He's leading the Capitals in points this year. It's insane what he's doing. If we leave him off, man, I would love to see him with Connor. Oh, that'd be fun to watch.
That would be good. A little security guard out on the ice. Let's go now to Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the promo code NATION19+. Please play responsibly. So I got 3 bets for you tonight that only after I built this did I realize the first 2 are Tyler and Liam's game day bets today on ONE. I feel good. My boys are thinking what I'm thinking. So we got Jack Roslovic for 1+ points currently, -135. This one, he's hit this 1+ point in 5 straight games. He has 14 points in his last 12 games. And oh yeah, he's upgraded to the top line with one Connor McDavid tonight. That also applies to the next one in the middle. Jack Roslovic, 3+ shots on goal at +155. So there is some juice there. Once again, top line. He'll continue to play on the top power play for the Oilers. They need goals. Jack Roslovic, he's my MVP. He's my offensive player of the year. Let's go, Jack. It's all about John Jack tonight. JJ Roslovic. And then finally, another J, Jake Wallman, to get 2+ blocks at -190. He's going to be playing everywhere tonight. In his pregame interview, he said, dude, I'm just expected to be, they told me, get ready for absolutely everything. So that could mean 2+ blocks. Obviously, he's on the PK as well. He's going to be playing a bunch tonight. Daniel, which of these 3 bets do you like the most? Well, I put it together.
Oh, I'm scrambling looking at things, but I do love your 3 shots from Jack Roslovic. The guy is just a shot machine and gets it. He understands the mentality that we need to have. Yes, some of his shots are from the perimeter, which I was calling out earlier in the game. So I recognize that, but he is a guy that just shoots the pill towards the net. So if you're looking at gambling, that's one to be looking at for sure.
I'm looking at gambling right now, and that is +525 if parlayed together. Place. Shout out Bet365. Doing so responsibly. Final one, Daniel. Give me a score prediction and an anytime goal scorer. I also see the chat. Oh, I don't know. Give me your score prediction, anytime goal scorer.
I've got this one. I agree. I didn't see who the user was, but somebody said that I think that this is a game where the Oilers kind of come together. They win this one in exciting fashion. I will say 4-3 win for the Edmonton Oilers. I don't think that we will have such a good time tomorrow night.
I think this one is going to be boring. I think this one will be low scoring. I think this is going to be a 3-2 finish for the Edmonton Oilers, of course. Let's say regulation. Because actually, I guess I forgot to mention it. The Edmonton Oilers, dude, they have 2 regulation wins in their last 18 games. Let that sink in for a second. 2 regulation wins in their last 18 games. I love pulling insane shit out of the Oilers' ass. So that's actually so fucked up what I just said. I love how they're able to pull some rabbits out of a hat. There's a much more PG version to say that. It just makes no sense. You can't. That is not a sustainable thing for the Edmonton Oilers to ever. You look at so many of these OT win, OT loss. Like the Oilers.
Well, it's a stat that the league has seen something like 41% of games have gone to overtime this year, which is insane. It shows you that coaching, I think, is taking over the NHL a little bit, and these players and these teams are playing for points.
Walls is back out of detention, and he says, "Come together right now." I love you all. Throw down your courtesy like on the way out. Make sure you are subscribed to the Oilersnation YouTube channel. Also, for any saucers out there, any people that are listening to the sauce these days, you should be. They had me on yesterday, Brett on today, and I believe tomorrow, I was told, one Pete Blackburn of the Nation Network and What Chaos is going to join the sauce with Ryder and Lisa tomorrow, right? 8 a.m. Available on the Oilersnation YouTube channel right here, so you know where to go. I love you all. Dan, I appreciate you. I'm going to order some oodle noodle right now. Get comfy on my couch. In fact, the other day, Liam was talking about how he loves watching Oiler games in bed. I started thinking about it. I was like, I haven't watched an Oiler game like in bed, like the ability to then fall asleep or whatever. I might go watch a period in my bed tonight because it feels good to be home, you know? Probably spell all over myself, but whatever. Dan, I love you. Brett, I love you. Everybody in the chat, you are the best. Shooter McGavin asked Bordzy, am I in the good books? You're Doug Waite. I'll leave it at that. Be sure to tune in. ONAD right here on the ON YouTube channel right after the game. Hopefully, we are breaking down an Edmonton Oilers W because I don't know if I can do another Monday night.
Live from Bordzy's bed?
Hey, come on in. Come on in. I love you all. Appreciate you all. Let's talk in a bit. Good luck out there in the Bet365 Battlegrounds.